What's going on, guys? We are back with another top 10 video. This one of Jknaps at number 3 for top 10 players of 2017, also known as the knapsack. And this one definitely has to come into play a lot more about the skill than accomplishments until the very end of the year. But obviously, they start the year G2 with this roster. And honestly, the first season didn't go that well whatsoever. But from the start, when Crow was trying to make this roster, he had Jknaps pegged as his number 2, and then they searched and searched and searched, and then they finally found Rizzo. But Kronovi, very smart man, picked up Jknaps when he could super early on, and it definitely paid off. Jknaps definitely carried G2, even in Season 3. He was a very hard carry. He was second in my MVP voting for Season number 3, giving G2 that third place finish, and then, of course, unfortunately, they missed out on the World Championship. But G2's whole game plan for pretty much most of this year is feed Jknaps the ball. Let Jknaps grab the ball, do whatever he wants with it. We look at score per game. Like, that's not a stat we normally look at. But here we go. Top 5 score per game events among all players at these events. He was number 2 in all of RLCS season number 3. He was number 2 at DreamHack Atlanta. He was number 4 at Northern Arena. He was number 5 at RLCS Season 4, and he was number 1 at E-League. So that's all of G2's game plan right there. Is just give Jknaps the ball, let him create whatever he wants off of it, and we'll see what happens. And honestly, the reason why I have him so high is because I feel like at least early on, for all of Season 3, I would say, and then Season 4 they started picking up. Like Kronovi and Rizzo were a very weak duo compared to some of the other high-profile players in the international scene. Like, I thought they were a little bit weaker than most of the other players, but G2 was so good because they had Jknaps, because of what Jknaps can do. He obviously got the Season 4 MVP as well, but we started to see G2 really have success in Season number 4 and in E-League because of what Crow and Rizzo started doing. They started to improve, but we never saw like Jknaps slow down whatsoever. Even when Crow and Rizzo are starting to pick it up, that's usually when you say, all right, the star won't be the star anymore because they have to like spread the wealth to make this work. No, like Jknaps was still one of the best players. Like, he even opened up Season 3 when they played Atelier, the reverse sweep, scoring 3 goals in under a minute to bring it to overtime, and the overtime winner in game number 5. All of those plays done by Jknaps. He definitely hard carried them from the start of 2016, and he ended 2017, I'm sorry. The start of 2017, and he ended 2017 in exactly the same fashion with an amazing series versus Gale Force in the E-League Finals, where he performed exceptionally well. Everyone calling Jknaps the knapsack from the start to the end of this entire year. And that's not to take anything away from Crow Rizzo. They have definitely improved throughout this year, and now they're looking at one of the best teams in the world right now. They just won the last international LAN event, and a lot of that had to do with Crow and Rizzo. Like, I don't want to take anything away from these guys. They started off pretty slow this season, but Crow getting more used to that supportive role. We see Rizzo moving up a lot more, getting creative on the offensive side. Seems to all be working out for them now, and we'll see what, if they can continue that into 2018. But again, it's always going to be led by Jknaps. He seems to be that catalyst for them to make all of their big plays, and honestly, I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. I have him at number 3. He moved up a lot of spots because of the last 2 events of the year. The World Championship, G2 came in 4th place. Jknaps played exceptionally well there as well. And then, of course, E-League, where they finally got a championship win for Jknaps and Rizzo, and Kronovi's 2nd title. And Jknaps was absolutely on fire versus Gale Force Esports. Was the best player at E-League, was the MVP of E-League unofficially, was the MVP of Season number 4 for the North America Regionals. He just did it all. And honestly, he definitely deserves this number 3 spot for what he did at the start of the year, as much as what he did towards the end of the year. But again, 2018, for all these G2 fans, they have to be extremely excited. Seems like the team is finally starting to click, starting to find all these roles. And it seems like they can change up the roles, but they still try and feed Jknaps the ball. Like, there is a couple times where Jknaps might over-rotate maybe a little bit too much. It keeps Rizzo in the back just a little bit too much. But I think they've kind of remedied that by having Kronovi be more of the supportive player to not over-rotate pretty much at all towards the end of the year. Let Jknaps do that when he deems it necessary. And again, it seems to be paying off. Every time Jknaps has a chance to touch the ball, it usually ends in something good for G2. So this is why Jknaps is number 3 on my list. He beats out one of the Gale Force members, and we got 2 Gale Force members left. Can you guys guess who is number 2? And then, of course, ultimately, who is number 1? It's no secret that the last 2 would be these 2. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. And give some praise to Jknaps and tell me why I'm wrong and it should be Squishy at number 3. I know a lot of people think Squishy should be higher than Jknaps, but honestly, I think Jknaps has provided a full year of work, a full resume, and he showed really well. And it was just one unfortunate Game 7 versus a denial that kept him out of that first World Championship where things could have been so much different for them. But Jknaps coming in at number 3. We got 2 left, guys. 2 left to go. We'll see you next time for number 2.